Macedonia was an ancient kingdom on the northeast part of the Greek peninsula, bordered by Thessaly to the south, Epirus to the southwest, Illyria to the northwest, Paeonia to the north, and Thrace to the east. Formed by the Argead dynasty and later ruled by the Antipatrid and Antigonid dynasties, Macedonia was initially small and outside of the area dominated by the major city-states of Athens, Sparta, and Thebes. Under the reign of Philip II, the Macedonian army, with its phalanxes wielding the sarissa pike, began to conquer other regions and subdue the former powers of Athens and Thebes. His son Alexander the Great continued his father's mission of commanding Greece and went on to conquer much of the known world, defeating the Achaemenid Empire and bringing Greek culture to new territories in the east. Following Alexander's death and the partitioning of his empire, Macedonia remained a center of Greek culture, competing against other powers such as Ptolemaic Egypt and the Seleucid Empire. However, Macedonia's decline began with the Macedonian Wars and the rise of Rome as the leading Mediterranean power. In 168 BC, the Macedonian monarchy was abolished and replaced by Roman client states. A brief revival of the monarchy during the Fourth Macedonian War also ended in defeat with the establishment of the Roman province of Macedonia. Macedonian kings had absolute power and commanded state resources such as gold and silver, with the mining operations used to mint currency and finance their armies. Although the imperial cult fostered by Alexander was not adopted in Macedonia, Macedonian rulers were high priests of the kingdom and leading patrons of domestic and international cults of the Hellenistic religion. The authority of Macedonian kings was theoretically limited by the army, while a few municipalities enjoyed a high degree of autonomy and democratic governments. Greek arts and literature flourished in the conquered territories, and advances in philosophy, engineering, and science spread throughout much of the ancient world. The ancient kingdom of Macedonia was said to be founded by either Perdiccas I or Carinus, with Temenus and Heracles as their mythical ancestors. The kingdom was located north of Mount Olympus and expanded into Upper Macedonia, Emathia, Eordia, Bottiaea, Mygdonia, Crestonia, and Almopia, and was surrounded by non-Greek neighbors like Thracians, Illyrians, and Paeonians. Achaemenid Macedonia was created after Persian general Megabazus convinced Amyntas I to submit as a vassal. Despite a brief interruption, the hegemony of Achaemenid Persia over Macedonia continued. Although it was autonomous, Macedonia had to provide troops for the Persian army, and their soldiers even fought for the Persians at the Battle of Plataea. Alexander I proposed an alliance with Athens, which was rejected, and after mainland Europe was freed from Persian control, Macedonia regained its independence from the Persian Empire. Alexander I of Macedon, a former Persian vassal, had warm diplomatic relations with Athenian and Spartan-led city-states. However, Perdiccas II, Alexander's successor, waged multiple wars against Athens and faced a threat to Macedonia's territories in the northeast from Thracian ruler Cytisus. In response to Athenian allies rebelling against him, Perdiccas II promoted the rebellion of Athens' allies in Chalcidice and won over the strategic city of Potidaea. Brasidas, a Spartan general, looted the Macedonian baggage train at the Battle of Lyncestis, enraging Perdiccas, who then joined Athens, but later switched sides to support Sparta. The Peace of Nicias, an accord between Athens and Sparta, freed Macedonia from its obligations as an Athenian ally. However, Athens formed a blockade against Macedonian seaports and invaded Chalcidice in 417 BC when Argos suddenly switched sides as a pro-Athenian democracy. In 414 BC, Perdiccas II sued for peace, and this alliance continued with his son and successor Archelaus I, whom Athens provided naval support in exchange for timber and naval equipment. Although Archelaus I faced some internal revolts and had to fend off the invasion of Illyrians led by Suras of Lyncestis, he was able to project Macedonian power into Thessaly. After moving the capital of the kingdom north to Pella, Archelaus I improved Macedonia's currency and attracted well-known intellectuals. However, his assassination plunged the kingdom into chaos, with four different monarchs: Orestes, Epirus II, Pausanias and Amyntas II. Amyntas III was forced to flee the kingdom in either 393 or 383 BC, owing to a massive invasion by the Illyrians led by Bartolus. He was aided by Thessalian allies to eventually return. Alexander II immediately invaded Thessaly, capturing Larissa, but lost it to Pelopidas of Thebes, who received aristocratic hostages in the peace agreement arranged with Macedonia. When Alexander II was assassinated by his brother-in-law Ptolemy of Aluros, the latter acted as an overbearing regent for Perdiccas III, younger brother of Alexander II. Perdiccas III's reign was marked by political stability and financial recovery, but he was eventually killed in battle alongside 4,000 Macedonian troops during the Illyrian invasion led by Bartolus. Philip II was crowned king at the age of 24 in 359 BC and quickly demonstrated his diplomatic skills by bribing the Thracians and forging a treaty with Athens. Over the years, he transformed the Macedonian army, introducing the phalanx and other innovative reforms. Unlike other Greeks, he practiced polygamy, marrying 7 wives to secure political alliances and extend his influence. He had early involvement with the Achaemenid Empire and supported satraps and mercenaries, including the future wife of Alexander the Great, Barsine, daughter of Artabatzos II. In 346 BC, he signed the Peace of Philocrates with Athens, relinquishing Athenian claims to Macedonian territories. He later conquered Thessaly, deposed rulers in Epirus and Thrace, and fought in the Fourth Sacred War. He emerged victorious at the Battle of Paeonia in 338 BC and established the League of Corinth, preparing to invade the Achaemenid Empire. However, his assassination during a wedding feast in 336 BC changed the course of history, and his son, Alexander the Great, succeeded him as king.